Hi there people, this is Spray Love, and I'm in it for another video which will be about who would win, the grapefruit or the mandarin. Alright, the grapefruit or the mandarin. Alright, this one is about Bleu de Chanel Parfum versus Dior Sauvage Eau de Parfum. And I took off my sweater just because I just sprayed Bleu de Chanel on it. I still smell a bit of it because I have it on skin since the beginning of the day, but I wanted to be as unbiased as possible for that fun video that is normally is still going to be biased. I'm going to spray a bit Bleu de Chanel here. Dior Sauvage there. Now we can look at the presentation because first off they're gonna mellow down a bit, but also look at those two beautiful bottles. Both caps have the same mechanism. This is Bleu de Chanel magnetic cap, Sauvage magnetic cap too. Both are really great magnetic caps. Both have very great atomizers. Both are blue in design. Design are similar. This is cylindrical, this is square, but pretty similar design too. One has influenced the other and the other influenced the other back. So if I recall correctly, Bleu de Chanel kind of inspired Sauvage, which inspired the adding of Ambroxan in the subsequent Bleu de Chanel, which makes them very similar fragrances in that respect. I think it's that, but I really might be wrong. Okay, so tell me if I'm wrong and I'm gonna rectify. This is Bleu de Chanel. This is Dior Sauvage. Alright, so this is very difficult, okay? Because these two fragrances here are ambrox bombs. They both smell a lot of ambroxan. Definitely, Bleu de Chanel is sweeter, probably more elegant, less rough. Sauvage is super sexy, very, very dark, just at the beginning, like it punches out. And here I have the dry down for the other one. It's still like a bit more citrusy sweet on Bleu de Chanel. It retains that original Bleu de Chanel vibe in the first one, but with the added ambroxan. Very powerful, very nice fragrance here in the Parfum. And Sauvage is magnificent too. Yeah, like rapid, like just quick like that. Bleu de Chanel is more top note oriented, citrusy, sweet, crisp, you know. Yes, so very citrusy, very clean, very elegant too. Dior Sauvage is more base oriented. It's very like the vanilla, ambroxan, all put together in a kind of very dark vibe. But as I can smell here, the actual like dry down of Bleu de Chanel Parfum and the like what I remember of the dry down of Sauvage are both very near. They're both very ambroxan oriented, a bit smoky. There's always this like tension with the like vanilla or tonka bean or whatever, and both are like sublime. But definitely Bleu de Chanel, more appropriate in a lot of situations, probably more versatile, and less Ambroxan focused. Sauvage is like, you smell the Ambroxan right away. Bleu de Chanel, you smell it more in the dry down, but you still smell it a lot in the, it's still a like very Ambroxan oriented fragrance, but Sauvage is more dirty, which is a good thing. You know, it really depends. I think I will like to own both, just because when I want to feel more clean but still Ambroxan sexy, I'll take Bleu de Chanel, and when I want to feel even more dirty, I'll take Dior Sauvage. And what I'll probably do is a video layering both. Gonna check that out. Ambroxan and Ambroxan. Is it just gonna smell like Bleu de Chanel with more Ambroxan? I don't know. Tangerine Dream, like it's mandarin, grapefruits, bergamot. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. I think that if you made it smell to people like both of them side by side, I really do think that most people would prefer Bleu de Chanel because it's more subtle with the citrusy notes. It's very good. Whereas Dior Sauvage is kind of intense, you know, it's kind of okay. But I'm pretty sure that, no, I'm not sure. I'm sure that people would prefer on sticks, like on test strips or tissue, they would prefer Bleu de Chanel, probably. But on skin, what would people prefer? That I cannot know. I think it just depends on the person, but I think that in a volatile environment, probably Dior Sauvage would get a little more compliments, but I cannot be sure. And I know a lot of people who just don't really like any Ambroxan style fragrances. I get a lot more compliment in my social circle when I wear other things like Dior metals. But these two fragrances are amazing. Both are like masterpieces of fragrance. I think that Dior Sauvage is a more constant, very like high reach of projection. Bleu de Chanel has a more constant close reach of projection. It still projects a lot. It's Ambroxan. Ambroxan projects a lot. And the trick with Ambroxan fragrances is to do absolutely the opposite of what most fragrance reviewers are saying. You know, we say, oh, spray like frenzy, people really like Ambroxan, but it gives headaches when you're very close. So what you want to do with Ambroxan, spray as like what you want to do is spray as much as you can, so that people know that, like, notice the scent, but don't really know you're wearing anything specific, and are just like transported by this Ambroxan and want to get closer. And when they get closer, they're like, oh, this is like that dark, very sexy vibe. This is from here, you know, because it projects a lot. But what you want to do is that it projects a lot, but it's not so recognizable at a certain reach. You know, kind of like a sillage, but you're just like passing by and no one really knows what is that scent, but they're just like, oh, this is really nice. This is the goal of Ambroxan, you know. It projects. It does not project so that you don't want it to project like so that people get a headache when they're just there, you know. You want them to come close, and when they come close, then they get the notes of bergamot, of mandarin, of grapefruit in the on Bleu de Chanel, but in the mandarin of Sauvage, and you get closer and closer, and oh, now just the vanilla unveils the whatever, and it's when you get closer that it's really nice. But not really the Ambroxan projects that much because you want to radiate. People just not noticing, not being conscious about the Ambroxan smell, just it incorporates them and invigorates, and you radiate, and when they know that it's you, that makes them feel that way because it's a chemical that acts like on the brain, then they want to come near and they're like discovering these new scents as they come, and it's really nice. So that's what I would suggest for you, because too much of that, you're going to repel everyone because it's going to give them a headache. Too much of that chemical damages everything. And you also, like, so, yeah, basically, you want to spray. I spray like twice or 3 times sometimes. And what my goal is that I'm able to smell it, but not too much, just a bit. And I'm getting whiffs. And when I don't smell it enough, I just go like that, you know, or like that, or, you know, just taking a deep breath, and then, oh, you suddenly perceive that really nice fragrance that invigorates you too. But you want to discover it yourself too. You don't want to be like always constantly reminded that there is that fragrance around you. And that means that when you walk, and sometimes I make errors, sometimes I push it, like I spray another time, like 4 times or whatever, and afterwards I regret it because I'm always with that. I prefer when it's like I'm walking, becoming anosmic to it. Becoming anosmic to a fragrance is okay, because after a while it's just like, weren't I wearing a fragrance? Oh yes, and it's beautiful. That's the goal. And oh, okay, I cannot decide which one is best. I can only say that it is maybe not worth buying both. They're 2 amazing fragrances, but if you're not a collector, if you're not someone who wants to collect all these fragrances or wear all these fragrances all the time, I would just choose my favorite of both, because both are doing the same exact job. I would say Sauvage is more wild, Sauvage, you know, dirtier, it's the more party-oriented fragrance. Bleu de Chanel still has that party vibe, but it's a bit more clean, a bit more elegant. So that just depends on the type of person you are. And both are still amazing, very modern. These are very modern fragrances. Maybe they will go out of fashion. Probably they will go out of fashion one day, and like I will still have bottles because I have so many fragrances and wear all sorts of stuff, and I will say this is a relic of the past, Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Parfum, whatever. But nonetheless, some fragrances go in and out of fashion, but some just keep on rocking. And these fragrances there, I think that even if they go out of fashion, they will still remain very powerful, very well-respected fragrances. Just like Eau Sauvage by Christian Dior, you know, that super nice Edion smell. That was precursor to Sauvage, but they have nothing to do, they don't have much in common, but very nice fragrance there that still today smells amazing. If you smell, like, if you spray some, you're gonna be all set, you know. And that's fragrance like from 1966, something like that. There's the Bleu de Chanel, I think it will last forever, that kind of aesthetic Sauvage forever too. Maybe it's gonna become one of those like Drakkar Noir, but Drakkar Noir is still an amazing fragrance, even though it's been discounted and it's not in fashion anymore. People still rock it, you know, it's still very good. just like Sauvage, just like Bleu de Chanel. And right now, if we speak live up, and when we will be able to go out more and return to normal lives, these are the fragrances that will really be the heat of the party. The Ambrox bombs. Just go for them. It's amazing party projections, and Ambroxan smells different on everyone because it kind of plays with the chemical of your body, so it just exaggerates your own bodily smell. One thing, be hygienic. Wash yourself before you wear any Ambroxan fragrances. It's gonna show when you wear Ambroxan and you're not like well washed and everything. It's gonna stink a lot. But if you're careful, you wash yourself, you have a good hygiene, just radiates very well. Also, these are fragrances that react well to, and this is controversial, it reacts well to sweat. What I recommend, have a really nice hygiene, but after you showered that day you're going out and you're wearing either Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel or Prada Luna Rosa Carbone, before you go out, do some exercise. Will make you sweat, and that sweat that is clean. It's not that sweat that is like you didn't wash for like 3 days. It's that sweat that is very clean on a clean body, will radiate, and your bodily odor, which is the most attractive smell ever made, which is made by you and only you, will radiate really well with the Ambroxan. The Ambroxan is just made for that. It just projects your own nice body odor if you're hygienic, and if you don't have any issue with body odor, because some people really like have a body chemistry that doesn't allow them to play with that. I believe I do, because every time I did like work out and have an Ambroxan fragrance, I had like someone who tells me, oh, you smell really nice, more so than when I just wore that and didn't work out. So sweat is good, just go for it. And verdict, which is the best? None. Decide for yourself, because these two fragrances out there, they're amazing. I really love both. Fantastic creations, similar design, similar cap, like the locking cap with the magnetic, you know, it's just like go to a store or buy for samples, buy them all, you know, the eau de toilette for this one, the two other Bleu de Chanel, don't bother with the Parfum version. Anyway, these two out there, amazing. Like I said, it's not much I can do. Bleu de Chanel, citrusy, elegant. Sauvage, dirty, arrogant. Both amazing. Ambrox bombs both. Spread love, spread love.